facing us. It's already on. No.
We're doing good.
How do you flip it? Right here.
There we go. There we go. Oh my gosh. This is hilarious.
Can you do it lower? Tip it down. Yeah, because they need to see our shirts.
Hello.
Hi, Tanya. We are learning this thing, trying to adjust and get it right. Hi, Vanetta. Aw, thanks, Darlene. You're such a good cheerleader.
What
What up? What up, Mike? Hello, hello. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to get on. Say hello. We are trying to get our computer in the back of us up so we can read your comments better as we go.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if it'll work because it looks a little delayed.
Yeah, we'll just cut it out.
Oh, okay. So we're not going to do that. See, we're learning.
Yes.
We're living the dream. We're learning, which I don't know if Mike's still on here, but I wanted to give him a shout out.
Lamont.
Hey, Lamont, to Mike, because we had talked about last time about us stepping out in our dream and not making excuses of why we can't do what's in our heart to do. Honey, I want it down for our shirt.
Okay.
Right down further.
Okay. It's Alabama shirts.
Anyways, we talked about stepping out and not having to have everything all together.
Oof,
And
that's true.
just getting started, because we definitely don't have this all together, but we have a dream that's in our heart. We have a passion. We want to serve you guys, want to bring value to you. We are so blessed the way our life is today, and we just want to help be a part of your lives and help make that better. And so with Mike, I thought it was really cool. He has a dream and a vision in his heart, and I thought it was really cool. He got t-shirts made up with his ministry and went to...
Tanya said push it back up. Thank you.
Aw. Okay. Oh, she's being sarcastic because of our
Oh,
shirts.
yeah. I got it.
Yeah,
she
she don't wanna
got
look
it
at the
much
shirts.
faster than we did.
Anyways, I was complimenting Mike about him getting his t-shirts made for his ministry and getting his website for his GoDaddy. And so he's just getting started, and that's what we're doing, just getting started. And
Burning Soul
Yeah.
Ministries.
Hi, Donna.
Minister Mike. Magic Mike to Big Mike.
yes.
Yeah,
If you guys
that's
want to
awesome.
click on there where you're watching from, that would be awesome. I loved last time watching people from
Yeah, it was
Texas,
all over.
Arkansas, Florida, Canada,
Australia.
New York. Yeah.
It's really cool. Africa,
Hi,
South
Rebecca.
Africa.
Love you.
St. Pete in the house.
Yes.
Tampa.
And
Yeah. Go ahead, baby.
anyways, we just loved seeing all that. I don't know if you guys watched last time, but I thought it was really cool that we got like 2,000 views on our last one. That is super impressive, and
Yeah.
that comes
For us,
partly
that's
from
huge.
you guys sharing and sharing with your friends and them resharing. That's just awesome.
Yeah, and if you guys have a share on here, I think you can share this out or do all those things. We're not sure how all the algorithms work, but I know all the other people do it. They talk about sharing it out and inviting your friends to see the live, and then when we're done, sharing it out as well. And you know, we're just trying to, we want this content to bring you value. We want nothing from you, nothing in return. We're not taking donations at the end. You know, we just want to be a complete blessing to you,
Bring you hope.
bring you hope, and teach you through, you know, our life and our story and what we've been through to bring you This Is Us. Like, This Is Us coaching. You know, team. This is Team Bevilacqua.
Team.
Team.
Yeah. Team.
I know.
Some of you might be
get it.
wondering why we're wearing football Roll Tide championship shirts.
Roll Tide.
And this. I love visuals. I love props. I feel like it really hammers home the message. I actually went to Academy because I love you guys so much. And this little thing is important.
We were Gianna said to do it with Sharpies, and we were like, oh no, that'll be on there for a week. And then we were gonna try to do some of her makeup and kind of smear it. And she was like, no, we'll just get the real things. So here we are in our This Is Us status. And, you know, we're going to be talking about marriage, obviously, tonight, like we had talked about before. You know, there's some things in our marriage that we typically look for. You know, we always want it to be better. We always think it can be better. We always think our husband or our wife can do more or be better. And we also compare marriages. And don't act like you don't, because we do, and it's natural. Like, we see something amazing that somebody does and they post it on Facebook, and you got to see their highlight reel of the game, like the team, the game. Like when you're looking up Alabama on the highlight reel, it shows all the best plays of the year, but it didn't show one time where they lost the Iron Bowl to Auburn. Oh my God. So what I'm saying is we compare the highlight reel of somebody else's marriage to the real reel, the daily in and out reel of ours, and we typically always fall short. So again, the idea of how this works is to not compare and not say, well, I wish I had what they had, but take your time and energy and focus in on what you do have. Because at the end of the day, if you're married right now and you've been married longer than a day, you're doing good, right? Because marriage is kind of, you know, it's kind of like dating these days. And really it shouldn't be, because it's a commitment. You know, when you say I do, we are putting our stamp of approval on there through thick and thin, sickness and health, rich, poor, yada, 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 all the good and the bad. And, you know, being able to walk that through, it takes coaching, and it takes counseling, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes on purpose doing something to better it. And so I just commend you guys for tuning in to us. I mean, this is you taking your marriage seriously, you know, so
investing in it.
Yes.
And a lot of times it's stuff that we already know. I don't know about you guys, but anytime you hear something, you're like, oh, well, that's not really profound. Like, I already know that. And it's true. We already do know it. Like, we know we're supposed to be kind to each other. We know we're supposed to love each other. But I think just having the conversation on a regular basis,
yes.
Yeah, talking about it, thinking about
Brave
it, kind of just keeps
communication.
it on the forefront, and so that we're mindful of it and that we're walking in it every day.
Because it's every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is
And
every day.
some people, you know, that are jumping on here know our story, they know us, but I just want to share for those that don't, that we've been married for 21 years now, and we've been together for 24 years. So, especially,
I've been chasing her since the 8th grade.
Especially in this day and age, that is saying a lot. And not only have we been married for 21 years, time-wise, but we have been through so much together. So,
Yes.
we're super thankful to be where we are today. And
Yes.
one thing I will share that is a tool, because a lot of this is just simple tools. I mean, people will be on the brink of divorce, literally, like going
Yes.
to go get the divorce. And just having a few simple conversations with them. Simple, just simple, breakthrough communication, simple things. They end up staying together and going on. So it's not about us trying to come up with these great things of wisdom for you, making it like so profound. It's simple.
It's really
simple things. It's just being mindful of them and doing them. Like, for instance, I'm going to give you a tool right now. That's not in my notes, but yes, we have notes. We try to be a little organized, a little.
Let's see how it works.
But one of the tools is very simple. Are you ready for it? Are you guys listening?
Write it down. Put it in your notes.
Don't say the divorce word. Like, that was huge for us. When we quit saying off of everything, gonna get a divorce, we're gonna get a divorce, we're gonna get a divorce.
It's like a knee-jerk reaction.
And I'm not against divorce. I believe some people probably should get a divorce. But I also believe that there is healing,
Yes.
and you can make it through a lot of things that you think that you can't make it through.
Totally.
And so anyways, that was one of the key things. When you settle that you're committed and that you're a team and you're going to
Team.
work together through this,
Team Bevilacqua.
it's kind of like we have to come up with a solution instead of just like, well, if you don't do this, then a lot of
Divorce.
times we use it as manipulation. Yeah.
Yes.
And then that doesn't put any security in your relationship.
Especially to the woman.
Yeah.
Especially to the woman. You know, because as the husband, our goal is to bring security into the house. And when we're always saying, well, if you don't do this and you don't do that, then let's just get divorced, there's no trust. There's no bedrock of security to stack your house on. And as good as the house can look without a good foundation, it falls over at the easiest storm.
And I know that's for somebody that's watching because, again, that wasn't really the topic we were discussing or in our notes, but I feel like that was for somebody out there. Maybe you guys do that a lot, and just encourage you to catch yourself next time when you start throwing that around.
Yes, the D word.
Yeah.
It's not a good one. It's not a good one. And, you know, with things like that, you know, the little tools, like she was saying, is that it's not a, there really isn't anything new. You know, typically what happens is people don't seek counsel or they don't want to do anything about it until it's so far where they just want to strangle each other. And so if you can just on purpose add things like this video or books or seminars or different things in there onto or into your marriage, it's like changing the oil in your car. You know, it becomes maintenance and it makes everything work better. But when your motor's knocking and going gong 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 and your gas car sounds like a diesel, that's not the best time to
That's
get your
so
oil
cool.
changed.
Linda from London. I love that.
Oh yes,
So
London.
cool.
Thank you.
Hey, Linda, how did you hear about us? I'd love to hear how you heard about us all the way in London. That's really cool.
Linda from London.
Linda
You threw
from
us
London.
completely
Yeah, I
out
know,
of
I'm
whack.
like,
Yes, this is us.
back to one of the key things we use anytime you're getting ready to have like a serious conversation. It's good to remind yourself, team, like we always say, we're team Bevilacqua.
Yes.
Or our friends, your team Roll, your team Boyette, your team Witten, and just going into the conversation, the difficult conversation, and starting in the place of connection to remember that even though we're disagreeing about things or we have hard things that we need to discuss, we're a team. We're
Yeah.
not against each other.
Right.
We're for each other. And I
We're
think
on
just
the
starting
same team.
on that foundation of we're on the same team. Like that's another one of those things that sounds really simple, but I encourage you, there's so much power in it. I have seen when we're talking with people to say, your
Yeah.
team so-and-so. And
Yes.
when he and I have conversations, it's like, babe, we're on the same team. I'm for you. I'm not against you. It's just a matter of us talking this through and coming up with a solution, not where I win,
Yeah.
you lose,
Not about right or
or
wrong.
vice versa. And that is another reason why I wanted to wear these shirts. Like, look how cool. One as one. I'm like, hello, that is so powerful. One as one. Like, we are winning as one.
Yeah.
When we both win, we're winning. We won.
Yeah. And-
Not individually, because we're on the same team.
Right. And that brings us to another point, is that typically when married couples start to argue or get into a disagreement, they kind of take sides. And now it's my side, I'm trying to prove right. And then her side, she's trying to prove right. And then we end up trying to prove who's right.
And
then
protect ourselves from
For
each
sure.
other
For sure.
instead of protecting ourselves together
Together.
as a team.
one as one.
We're like against, and we're like, don't hurt me, as you probably have in the past. That's a whole nother issue we'll get to
Yeah,
eventually.
we'll get to those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, like with the team play and our coach and our stuff, so, you know, we have the coach on a football team or on a baseball team, And we're still talking about being on the team when you're having a disagreement, and you come with brave communication. You're going to have disagreements. We have an amazing marriage, and we disagree on stuff. But we're always connected, and we're always on the same team. So we're trying to work through the problem instead of prove who's right. And what happens if you're on, let's just say, a baseball team? Well, football, it's more popular.
And
at
we
least.
have these.
Football. Sorry, football.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. The quarterback, he does certain things on the team, and the receiver does certain things on the team. The linemen do certain things on the team. So you have all of these different spots that are all on the team, all going in the same direction, all looking for the team win, right? But each player is doing something completely different. And when we're trying to prove who's right, we're acting like we're on two different teams. And really, we're on the same team trying to figure out how we can work together and get the quarterback to throw the ball just right and have the receiver at just the right spot, and then boom, connection. Alabama wins again.
And
like
this
kind of thing happens when you have the right connection.
This goes in with that. The goal of marriage is to not think alike, but to think together.
Oh, that's good.
That's so good.
Point.
Yeah, I know. The
That's
goal
on point.
of marriage is to not think alike. So it's not about one of us being
that'll
right
never
or wrong.
happen.
But we do need to think together and figure it out together.
Yes.
What works so that we're both winning because we're on the same team.
Yes. Thank you, Joe, for tuning in, buddy.
Yeah.
This is, this is what we like to do. This is
Yeah.
our thing. So back to the team, because that's kind of how we're focused, if you couldn't tell. All the players do different things. And then here's the story is the coaches coach each player to do their job. And one of the things that I had written on the ask earlier, the call to action for you guys to tune in was, do you want a better marriage, and do you want your husband to do better, or do you want your husband to do more, or your wife? And so that brings us to this point, is that the quarterback is going to be different than the receiver, but yet they're on the same team. And so if I'm the quarterback and I'm just focusing on what I need to do, I'm with the coach, Daddy. I'm with the coach. I'm leaning into Christ. I'm leaning into the Spirit leading me and guiding me. So I'm leaning in here for me. Then I become the best player in my position, which is husband. And then my position as father, right? You have these different positions, different hats that you wear throughout the day. And then she leans into the coach and what she's doing, and she becomes the best player in her position as the wife and as the mom and as the teacher. So as we're doing those things, it isn't about me trying to get her to do more. The quarterback isn't trying
Focusing on my plays.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just need to focus on my spot. Like when I open up my book, I focus in on what I'm supposed to be doing as the husband and as the father. And then she does the same with her. And again, that's how we come together, and we get the quarterback in the right spot. We get the receiver in the right spot. They make connection. They make a touchdown. And so the win in our life is these touchdowns that we go through, being on the same team. And you're going to hear us say the same stuff a lot because repetition actually sinks in. Team.
And so
Together.
I want to encourage you guys to get together and have a huddle. This is part of the call to action for you. Something for you to do is to have your own huddle together. And then decide, what does team look like to you? Sit down and say, we call it pillow talk or whatever in the morning, coffee talk, whatever's good for you. And just say, what is team? What does me being on the team look like to you? And then what does you being on the team look like? And I think that is powerful.
Yeah.
Just
Bravely
knowing, if I
communicating.
know what he thinks team looks like, that's valuable. If he knows what I'm expecting, what I think team looks like, that's valuable. And you can move ahead in that.
Yes.
And I think also a mentality is, for one, believing that you are on the same team. because whatever you believe, your actions are going to follow. And so when you believe you're on the same team, your actions are going to line up with team. We're on the team. What does it look like to be on the team? And part of that is going to be your gifts and abilities. Like, different people have different gifts and ability.
Totally.
I mean, he's good with finances too, but let's just say finances is the thing. Then whoever is better in that area, obviously your gifts and abilities will help dictate what that looks like and who should be in charge of that.
Yes, because it's not always the man. You know, typically we see that the man is supposed to do the finances and the man is supposed to do this. And that's not really how it is. It's whatever works best for you. And the only way for you to know what works best is for you and your spouse to actually sit down and talk about it.
See which player is best qualified in that position. And then roll with it. And then if you're married for a long time like us, different seasons of your life, the roles can change. If there starts being a lot of arguing over the position and what's going on there, maybe you need to revisit the role and who does that role. And it's okay to be flexible and change. Just because you've done it for 10 years doesn't mean you have to do it for the next 10 years.
Exactly.
So have that conversation.
And to be open enough that you're just allowed to switch those things around. Nothing is set in stone. I mean, if you're planning on being married for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, depending on your age, things might change along the way. You know, and being open to that you might work better in a different spot. But again, always coming back to the team, that we are not against each other no matter what's going on, whether we're talking about kids, finances, cars, house, buying stuff, selling stuff, yard work, cleaning, laundry, whatever it is, we're on the same team. So our idea is to come together here and find out what works best for Team Bevilacqua. And so you'll have to find out what works best for you. And the reason why you can't compare, because you don't operate like we do.
Your lifestyle might not look the same.
Different. And each person is different. And each marriage is different. Yeah.
And people's gifts and abilities are different. People's time is different. Like, some things, a solution to a situation, which some people can't do, they might not have the extra finances. But if you keep arguing over and over on the same thing, maybe you could get outside help on whatever it is. Like
if you're like your yard. If the husband's too busy to work and the wife's always crying about the yard looking like, sheepdogs live out there and weeds everywhere, and the husband's saying, I'm working 60 hours a week and when I get home I'm tired, if you can, find you a lawn guy that comes, even if he comes twice a month, and just nip that thing in the bud, because, see, we're on the same team.
Yeah, and a lot of people will use... we can't afford that. And maybe that's true, but maybe you could get creative in a way to do it, because if you're thinking you can't afford it and it's costing you your marriage because you can't get past it, maybe kind of just think like, really, you can't afford to not be married. Are you willing to lose your relationship over consistently arguing over what? Laundry, dishes. The kids, cooking. Cooking, whatever the task is, the yard work. Again, coming together and finding a solution, even if it's going out beyond yourselves and getting somebody else to handle it so you can just quit arguing about it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, an argument isn't, it's an argument. You're going to have to work through it, and you're going to have to figure out a solution. So on things like that, if you can do that, just keep it really simple, and finish up with that. Yeah, I have a couple other things that I want to touch on. We already touched on each player has his own responsibility. So my responsibility is me, hers is her. We come together, each whole, right? Like, she's not filling me and I'm not filling her. I'm not pushing her to do it. She's not pushing me to do it. We come together, touchdown. The more we focus on our part, the better the team plays. So the more I'm focusing on me, my relationship with God, my relationship with me, my relationship with love, my relationship with kindness, my relationship
That's
with joy.
Yeah, that's
because I
good.
can be cranky, and so I need to be working on my relationship with joy,
That's
and that
good.
makes the team better.
Yes.
Okay.
'Cause
Another
it's
thing.
no fun when somebody's not operating in joy.
I never do that.
It's not fun for the team. Like, have you ever been on a team and like somebody's
the
just like,
cranky
or
one?
several people are like
Griping about
negative,
everything?
negative. I mean, we all have bad days. We all have negative times for sure. But just overall, somebody that's consistently being that way, it's like, oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Hey, look, these look just like these, but upside down. Wow.
And we're
that's
talking
awesome.
nice to ourselves.
Just look.
Talking nice to ourselves. I
That's
spent like 5
hilarious.
minutes trying to fix this crazy bun just for this show, people.
So 2 more things for me, and you have this. This is not pride. This is not ego. This is not any of those things. This is, you have to have the mindset that my team always wins. Like, always wins. Like, Team Bevilacqua always wins. And since I'm not comparing other marriages and we're not pitting ourselves against each other, Team Bevilacqua always wins. And with that mindset is that when we come into a circumstance or a situation or something that we are dealing with, Team Bevilacqua is always going to win that situation and that battle that we're up against. It's not me trying to make her look bad or her making me look bad. It's us together, better together. Team always wins.
Yes, I
And
love that.
This has to be a mindset. Like, it has to, and it's not a mindset that's not, you can't get to, because the Bible tells us that Christ always causes us to triumph. So as you're together in a
Love
team
causes you to
and
triumph.
love is causing you to triumph, we're leaning into love and we're seeing that, oh, we're together here. I probably shouldn't be mean to you and call you names
Yes.
and manipulate and try to
Love
scare you, because
wants
that's
to
not
help
the win.
and often will. Love wants to help
Yeah.
and often will. And I loved Mitzi put in there, Team Vaughn, we always win. So
Yes.
I think you guys
Boom.
should do that. That was a good thing. If you're married, whatever, Team so-and-so, we're winning or whatever.
Yeah, and
then-
when you're making your Facebook, your highlight reel
Yes.
for everybody to look at, put on there, team whoever, winning. I always win.
Even when it looks
even
like
when
you're
it looks
losing.
like you're losing, we're winning. Like,
Our
this
crew-
becomes the mindset.
Our crew is consistently encouraging one another and in our marriages together
Yes.
that even when it looks like you're losing, even in a season, when it looks like you're losing and you're down and you're bleeding and whatever, you're still winning.
Yes.
Yeah. And just keeping that mindset. You're on the same team.
Oh,
We're
man.
winning. We've
Champions.
won as one.
Champions.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah. Last thing I got. The mindset of winning, it has to be attached to us not comparing other people's marriages. Because when we compare other people's marriages and we look at their highlight reel on Facebook or just what they show, and then we compare that to ours, we always feel like we're losing. We always feel like, well, my wife isn't as good as her, or my husband's not as good as him, or I wish my husband would be like that. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that in counseling. Well, Phil doesn't do that, or you should be like Phil. And we shut these things down really fast, because that is, for one, bringing insecurity.
Yeah.
Because nobody will ever be me, nor will I ever be anybody else. We're all our single own masterpiece that God's created, and you can't be anybody else. So not comparing marriage to marriage allows us to have the mindset of winning in what we're doing, because Team Bevilacqua always wins, because the only thing we're fighting against is a circumstance. Never people, never flesh and blood. It's only a circumstance. So finishing it off with that, you can see that mindset is totally able to be grasped, is that we're not fighting people here. We're not fighting each other. We're always winning because Christ has shed his love in our heart, and we're coming together on a team. We're on the same team going the same direction. So Team Bevilacqua always wins, and the only thing we're ever up battling against is circumstance.
Yeah, and a lot of times, speaking into that, when, like he was saying, when you compare, isn't it funny we tend to compare, when you think of marriage, let's just say 50 years, there's so many different things that happen over those 50 years.
Yeah.
Like he said, the highlight reel, we'll compare when they're on their top, or it looks like they're on their top. Or for instance, us right now, you could be like, oh, their marriage is so cute. Look at them doing the marriage thing. Oh, that's so sweet, honey. I wish we could do that. But we've been married for 21 years and it hasn't always looked like this.
Come on.
So you might be comparing to where we are today, but this, how it looks today, hasn't been our full journey. So be careful comparing also in whatever their highlight season is in their marriage, because you're going to go through a lot of different things.
Yes, we had years of hell. We had years of marriage hanging on by dental floss. She was getting restraining orders. We were not going to be married. I mean, we had all of this stuff. So that's what I'm saying is Team Bevilacqua won against the circumstance. And it allows us to stand here and share and bring value to you because we didn't quit, right? Because that's how you lose. You quit. If you don't quit, you always win. You'll always outlast the circumstance, and we can focus on ourselves, make it through, put the team together, find out it's not actually the spouses against each other. Like, it was such an eye-opening experience for us to find out that we're not actually fighting each other. We're together fighting circumstance. And that's much easier to whoop than trying to whoop your wife.
So we thank you guys for tuning in and watching with us. I think we've gone for about 30 minutes, and we don't want to keep them too long.
Our goal is
because we
to
have to
stay
come up with
around
stuff
20.
next week to talk to you guys about. I mean, this is a challenge.
If just let us know if Tuesdays don't work at 7:30. Like, we want to be able to make it work for as many people, but either Tuesdays or Thursdays work for us around the 7:30 spot, where we can get done with school stuff, kid stuff, food stuff, and then we can all kind of hang out together. But we want to bring you guys some security in what we're doing, and bring it.
Encourage them to go on our page.
Yeah, each week we want to be able to bring it, and you guys you can pay attention. Like, this could be your show. And it's always on DVR, right? It always gets recorded, so you can check it later. But we are in the process of building the website. So if you don't mind, go to This Is Us Life Coaching on Facebook and like the page. We'll be having updates on there. This Is Us Life Coaching. And we're in the process right now of getting the website put together, and we're going to have mail-outs and mailers and opt-ins, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be like a real coaching
We're just learning
center.
as we go, and we're trying not to fall under any kind of pressure, and we're just going to keep it
performance.
Fun and keep giving you guys value, and hopefully you keep engaging with us and telling us what you want and cheering us on.
Cheering us on and sharing it out.
And share with other people.
Cheer for us and then share it on your page, because it's free value that has literally caused us to have the most amazing marriage ever. Like, I think our marriage is rock solid, amazing, not compared to anybody else, but I wouldn't trade you for the world, baby. Not for the world. Like, she's my everything, and I hope I'm her everything. And so we're going to teach and coach and train to where you guys can grab what it is you need, and in Jesus' name have the same thing that we have, which is just a beautiful marriage. Not our marriage, just a beautiful marriage. Anyways, I'm rambling. We love you. You guys are awesome.
We believe in your team.
Yes.
Go team. Cheer each other on. Team Bevilacqua. We win.
You
This
winning.
is us.
You winning. This is us.